Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into some really fascinating thoughts shared by Joseph Lavant.
Yeah, on a topic that, well, pretty much everyone thinks about. Finding purpose, finding context in life. The author kicks off with this incredibly vivid metaphor. I bet it resonates with a lot of people.
Oh, definitely.
He asks you to imagine being chosen for a play, right?
Right.
But you didn't audition.
Right, and you show up, there's no script, no information at all, just this dimly lit theater, a stage setup.
And other actors are there, just as confused, and then boom, this voice from the dark just yells, action.
Yeah. And there's just this silence, this pressure, you know? You feel like you have to do something, anything.
Say the first line that comes into your head, hoping it makes some kind of sense, maybe moves things forward.
While wondering the whole time, is this a test? Is it some kind of joke? Or is it just meaningless chaos?
And he connects that feeling, that sort of disorientation, that lack of a map, directly to how it can feel sometimes to just enter life.
Yeah, no manual, no real prior knowledge of your role. You're just sort of playing a part, making it up as you go.
And lacking that clear context for why you're even here, or, where you fit into the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Like being born onto the stage in Act 2, having missed the whole setup.
Exactly.
So our mission today is to take the source material, really dig into it, and pull out the core insights on how the author kind of moved from that confusion towards finding purpose and context.
And importantly, what that might mean for you as you navigate your own life stage.
So this search for meaning, for maybe a script or at least some stage directions, it led the author to a really crucial turning point.
Right. It came down to really listening to and I guess appreciating advice from his father.
And the father's message, it really cuts right to the chase. Your sole purpose, he said, is to make your mark, to write your name.
But not in the usual way, right? Not on buildings or monuments or even big career achievements.
No, the focus was explicitly on people.
And what's really striking there is the how you do it.
Yeah.
The father wasn't talking about, like, power or fame. He said it could be achieved in a million ways.
But always. How did he put it?
Always. With a hand guided by love and a pen that flowed with the free giving of myself.
That really flips the script on legacy, doesn't it? It's not about taking or building for yourself, but about connecting and contributing sort of selflessly to others.
Exactly. And this is where, for the author, it seems like a light bulb went on. This big aha moment.
He realizes this isn't just some, unique personal instruction just for him.
Right. He sees this idea, writing your name on people, as, well, the universal purpose. It applies to everyone.
And that realization, that seems to be the source of the context he was looking for.
It seems so. By accepting that advice, he suddenly understood he wasn't just this isolated actor dropped onto a dark stage.
He saw himself differently.
Yeah, as a link in a long chain. He was,
Yeah.
A product of everyone who came before him.
And critically, part of the foundation for everyone who comes after.
That's the key. Our true lasting value, our legacy, isn't just in our own story. It's in how we connect the past to the future through others.
So if that's the core purpose, being this link, making your mark on others, then the implication is huge. It forces a shift, doesn't it, away from just focusing on yourself.
There's a sense of, what does he call it? Collective responsibility.
Right. If your purpose is tied up in your impact on other people, then you kind of can't help but feel responsible for them in a way.
Yeah, the author puts it quite strongly. It leads to seeing all children as your children, all people as part of your family.
Wow.
It expands your sense of self, really, to include the humanity around you.
Okay, now that sounds incredibly inspiring, being connected to this huge web of shared humanity. But the author admits it also felt very overwhelming. How can it be both beautiful and terrifying?
Well, it's inspiring because it connects you to something so much bigger than yourself, right?
Yeah.
This beautiful web of shared responsibility. You're not alone out there.
You're part of this ongoing story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's overwhelming because, well, it immediately raises the stakes on your everyday life.
Ah.
If your actions are constantly sort of writing your name on other people, you have to start thinking about the ripple effects.
Are you contributing? Is what you're doing serving this greater good, this purpose?
Yeah, and it feels like it could demand this almost impossible level of selfless dedication.
Yeah.
You might even worry about losing yourself and serving everyone else.
That tension, that pull between connection and responsibility, that feels very real.
It does.
But then he comes back to another key part of his father's advice, the how. That seems to be the way to manage the overwhelm.
Exactly right. It's not about these grand self-sacrificing gestures necessarily.
It becomes manageable because the Father said this purpose could be fulfilled in a million ways.
And crucially, in small ways that would manifest themselves in everyday life, everyday acts.
Among people you know.
Or people you'll come to know, or even people you just encounter randomly, wherever you happen to be.
This feels like the practical core of it all. The key action, no matter how big the overall purpose feels, is just aligning your everyday actions.
Even the small ones, the ones that seem insignificant.
Aligning them with your values. That's how you write your name day to day.
Yeah, think about your own day. How many tiny interactions do you have? Brief encounters, small decisions?
Where your attitude or your action leaves some kind of impression.
And source is really clear. This isn't a checklist you just tick off and you're done.
No, it's described as a lifelong journey, not a destination.
The meaning, the context, it isn't found in reaching some end state. It's in the process. But try to live this way day after day.
Interaction by interaction. And the author suggests that if you really accept this purpose and you commit to that process, you'll ultimately end up in a good place.
Yeah, and it's not about fame or getting recognized for it.
Oh.
The measure of success isn't whether everyone knows your name or explicitly thanks you. It's more like this quiet understanding.
That your influence, your name, is written somewhere small, in their hearts, their minds.
In some small corner of their hearts and minds, yeah. And the subtle impact you've had.
And I really liked the idea he shares that the best compliment is imitation.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That the mark you leave might just be something you taught someone, maybe without even realizing it, or just a way you acted.
They internalize that, and they pass it on in their own way. That ripple effect. That's a real legacy, even if it's invisible.
Definitely.
Ultimately, the author kind of boils this whole grand purpose down to something very grounded.
What's the advice?
Basically, do your job well. Whatever your job is in daily life, being a parent, a colleague, a friend, even just a stranger in line somewhere.
Approach it with that intention, right? Writing your name positively through love and giving?
Exactly. And if you do that, you can rest easily knowing you tried your best.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. We started with that feeling, that powerful metaphor of the actor without a script, searching for meaning. And we've unpacked how the author found his context, his purpose, by embracing this idea that life is really about the impact you have on others.
Through everyday actions, guided by love, by generosity.
Seeing yourself not as isolated, but as this vital link, connecting past generations with future ones.
And the author leaves us, and really leaves you listening right now, with a couple of pretty direct questions.
Yeah, they really build on this whole deep dive. First, he asks, how do you feel about writing your name on the hearts and minds of others as the purpose of your life?
And then he follows up with the part that really lands the punch.
Go on.
Whether you like it or not, you're doing it every single day of your life.
Oof. Yeah.
You might want to consider whether you're doing a good job.
Wow. It's simple, but it's profoundly challenging when you really think about it.
It really is. What mark are your small, everyday actions actually leaving on the people you know well, and even the ones you just passed by briefly?
Definitely something to reflect on as you go through your day today.